intro. Everybody, yeah, welcome to the Collision Post Show. Yeah, it's Cresta Star, and I've got special guest SP3. He's gonna review Collision with me. Hello,
I'm hitting
everybody.
hit you with the on Viv.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Fightful Post Show for AEW Collision. As you might have guessed, my name is Cresta Star, and I'm joined by my special guest. I was on this show earlier. He brings the true heel heat, SP3.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me. As I've called myself the unofficial fourth member of the Collision Post Show because I've done Collision Pro shows with every member of the team. So I'm glad to fill in for Iridian and Rick today as they're in Las Vegas living their best life for Mania Week. And we got to talk about this show from Boston, Massachusetts, the Spring Breakthrough Night 2.
Spring Breakthrough, boo, boo, boo. I don't know where that was going, but I tried. But you know where you can go? To Fightful Online, to Fightful Select, and subscribe to us. It's the best $6 in the business. We've got contract updates, WrestleMania updates. Who produced that on what show? Sean Ross Sapp is going to answer those questions for you. The best $5.99 a month. Get it. And you're going to get it aggregated anyway from other people. So why not? We've got a good show for you guys tonight. Don't forget to get in your super chats. That's the best way to get your comment guaranteed read on air. And it keeps us paid by the beautiful Fightful. Also, if you're like, well, I don't trust super chats over on YouTube, totally, you're right. Head on over to humperchats.com. Humperchats.com. Again, we get to keep a little bit more of the proceeds. Myself, SP3's happy. Sean's happy. The Decepticons are happy. Humperchats.com. Fightful Select. Super chats. AEW Collision's where it's at. Let me start with you, SP3. What did you think about the show overall before we get into it?
I thought it was a nice little follow-up to what we saw yesterday, and last night. I think that they came out the breaks, kind of giving you the follow-up of the Death Riders being very, very angry, pulling a Nexus style, ripping apart of the ringside area. That poor cameraman that Claudio abused. Claudio was in some type of mood, and Nigel McGuinness is probably going to have to get his knee checked out after tonight's show. Adam Cole almost got his head busted open on that brown floor during their matchup. So it was a lot of Death Riders' response to losing the Trios Championships, and I think that it was the right response for them. So that was kind of the real vocal point from the show. But they had the women's and the Owen Hart Cup kind of follow up, some hype for that. I thought that this show should have had maybe Hangman versus Kyle Fletcher in the Owen Hart Cup. I think that would have added just a bit more juice to kind of give us like something on the same level as last night. But I don't think AEW can give us, two back-to-back pay-per-view nights. So this was just a solid kind of TV show to follow up from the big show yesterday.
I'll even say that it didn't need to be yesterday, but it needed to follow up strong, which I will agree that Collision did follow up strong tonight. So let's just get into it. We had Toni and Nigel running down what was going to happen for the night. And mid-sentence, I want to say about the second paragraph, you just hear like, oh, what's going on? And Marina Shafir is beating up some poor woman. I don't know if this woman was from the crowd, was a security guard. I assume she's a part of AEW production, the way she was dragging that poor woman. But the Death Riders come out. Now, part of me was like, great, because I know you guys are mad. You're mad as hell since you lost yesterday. I'd be mad too, but it's the beginning of the end. We do get Death Riders beating up people. The crowd starts chanting, F you, Yuta. Then they start chanting, you passed out.
You passed out. You passed out. I've never heard that. I've heard you tapped out before, but I've never heard you passed out before.
They were getting it, bro. They were getting it. So John Moxley enters the ring and says, all you guys enjoying this? Enjoy it now. Pretty much saying you're never going to get a day of rest while I'm here. He said, I officially decided I don't like the Young Bucks. And if I ever see you around here, even though you made the company, I'm making way people never see you again. And last but not least, he called out my favorite Samoan named Joe. Bro, he said, I'm not gonna wait for you to be a pain in my ass. Samoa Joseph, come to the front of the class because you got yourself a title shot. Now, yes. That being said, don't put Samoa Joe up to be slaughtered by Jonathan Moxley and not they were chanting Joe is gonna kill you, and that was the appropriate response. I don't care. I want to see John Moxley in a muscle buster. He's 8 feet tall. I don't care, but I want to see that big man in a muscle buster. And I believe if anyone's gonna do it, it's Samoa Joe. SP3, what did you think about this segment specifically? John Moxley calling out Joe and also him saying F the Young Bucks because I thought the Young Bucks and them were in cahoots.
Like, what did the Young Bucks do? What did the Young Bucks do? The Young Bucks tried to help. That's all they tried to do. And Swerve came out and disrupted that. Like he was talking like the Young Bucks did something. Like the Young Bucks cost him the AEW, Trios Championship. The Young Bucks tried to help, sir. I don't understand all this hostility to our very, lovable, beloved EVPs. They do nothing wrong. They do nothing wrong at all, except for cut up the lights and screw over Swerve. But outside of that, what have they done wrong to you? They helped you
specifically. Like I can understand, like you said, if it was Swerve, I can understand maybe even Hangman, but to you specifically, Moxley.
I was so disturbed by that, but his addressing of Samoa his addressing of Samoa Joe made a lot of sense. Joe making him pass out, beating him in that matchup. You kind of already saw the signs was pointing to Joe being the number one contender for the AEW World Championship, and the fact that he never got a rematch after he lost the title last year is another factor to all of this. And I love Samoa Joe on the mic, and I would love to see Joe and Moxley go at it on the mic. And remember, Joe made a promise to Moxley a long time ago. Maybe not John Moxley, maybe some other guy named Dean Ambrose, and he told him he would make sure that Dean Ambrose is a stay-at-home husband. So let's see if he comes through on his promise to his better half, John Moxley, and he makes him a stay-at-home husband while Renee is working hard backstage for AEW.
Men are like that. Renee works there, and Samoa Joe. Listen, I will cat for you. I'll be a haberdasher for you, but I also know how you give it up. Leave Renee alone. She got nothing to do with this. Okay, leave Renee alone. Like Renee does work there. Yikes.
I love it.
No, I agree with you 100%. I say that if we're gonna do it, dude, that's gonna be a bloody match. So I already don't like it. But put it on Samoa Joe. Don't waste my time.
I don't see that happening. I think
SP3's off this channel right now.
I'm sorry. I know you love Joe. I've loved Joe for the better part of 20 years. I've been a fan of Samoa Joe. I remember the first time I saw him in Ring of Honor, and I was like, you got this big dude. He's doing topes. He's laying out dudes, hitting muscle busters. The match that made me a Ring of Honor fan was Samoa Joe versus CM Punk, the 60-minute time limit draw, the second matchup, the Joe versus Punk show. That was the first Ring of Honor show matchup that I ever saw, and that made me a fan of Joe. That made me a fan of Punk, and it made me a fan of Ring of Honor. I've been shooting in the Samoa Joe gym a whole long time, 2 decades worth of shooting in the Samoa Joe gym. But we have to realize that AEW passed the point of no return. When Swerve Strickland did not win the title at Dynasty, that means that I was about to call him Dean Ambrose. I'm saying it too much. John Moxley is going to be the AEW World Champion heading into All In Texas. No matter what we say, no matter what we do, no matter who challenges him before then, he will be the champion come July in Texas. So we might as well just accept it. Only thing I'm going to propose is, how about Tony Khan, you not put that in the main event? How about we put that like second from the top or in the middle of the show at Double or Nothing, and let's main event with Will Ospreay versus Hangman Adam Page in the Owen final, or Kris Statlander versus Mercedes Moné in the Owen final, or Jamie Hayter versus Mercedes Moné in the Owen final. I think the Owen final is a better main event than Joe and Moxley, knowing that Moxley is going to probably retain.
I don't like when you make sense, but that makes a lot of sense. Like, no, don't. You're absolutely right. Like, I think at this point, it is a fair assessment that even if you like the Death Rider storyline, you're kind of sick of Jon Moxley as the champion.
Yeah.
Like all due respect, because again, you could beat me up, but I can't fight like that. Okay, so like we're all a little tired of you just, no one's better than me. Oh, we just saw you pass out. Hey, shut your mouth. All right, you got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. So let me tell you who don't got it though. Lance Archer. Lance Archer versus Kevin Knight. Now, I like Lance Archer, but I say this to Iridian every week that we see Lance Archer on Collision. If Lance Archer is on a North American promotion, what is he going to do? Especially AEW, he's going to lose. He going to lose. However, I will say this is the best Lance Archer match I've seen on AEW television programming, and that's a shame. That is a shame because Lance Archer is a really good, when you talk about big wrestlers doing topes and whatnot, Lance Archer does that and he has no reason doing that at 9'9". He's so good. He's so good.
9'9".
Tell me, Lance Archer's mad tall. Him and Big Bill are like, they're looking at each other like, no, you, bro. They're mad tall. But I will say that this match tonight between these two, Lance Archer from New Japan, Kevin Knight, is astronomically good. He was good in TNA when I saw him. He's good in New Japan, and he's even better here. I can't wait until he gets into their high-flying mid-card, and that's what I mean by the crew, Action Andretti and them, Top Flight. That's going to be fantastic. This match was really good. We had Lance Archer attack before the bell. We had "Fuck you, Don Callis" chants. I knew this match was going to be a banger from the assisted moonsault from Kevin Knight onto Lance Archer to the outside. During the majority of this match, Lance Archer just begins slapping Kevin Knight, beating him up. But we do get a Kevin Knight win. And if I'm not mistaken, he wins with a flying lariat onto onto Lance Archer, gets Lance Archer back into the ring and gets the pin. SP3, what did you think of this match? Because I know I was sports entertained.
I had a big smile on my face the entire time because I recently talked to Kevin the Jet Knight for Sports Illustrated, where he told me that he signed a deal with AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling, and that made me very happy because if y'all know me, I'm a huge New Japan fan. I think that New Japan is the best promotion in the world right now. I mean, we've had a bad week, but we're still the best promotion in the world right now, even though Tetsuya Naito left for some reason. But Kevin Knight is someone that I've seen from his young lion days in the LA dojo and seen him grow. He's put on more muscle. He's kind of become, we've seen the evolution from when he was a young lion, learning the fundamentals to who he is now, where he has so much agility, so much athleticism, and that was on display here. I think that Lance Archer was the right person to put him in there with, where he was able to sell, get beaten up for a bit, getting chopped around the ringside area, and then he got to come back and have that spirited comeback with that hot Boston crowd behind him. And this was his first big singles win in AEW on AEW television, and it's against a guy who has just a little bit of credibility because he is Lance Archer, for better or worse, is a glorified jobber to the stars in AEW, unfortunately. But there was some doubt in me that I thought that they could have given the win to Lance Archer. He has enough credibility that it was actually a somewhat of a surprise that Kevin Knight got the win, but it was a stamp of approval where you're seeing that AEW does view him as a star because they had the jobber to the star put him over. So I was happy about that. That's why I had a big smile from the beginning to the end. The springboard lariat, I like that as a finisher for him because he always looks good whenever he hits it. It's kind of like AJ Styles with the phenomenal forearm.
I thought the exact same thing.
I like that for Kevin Knight for now, and that's a move that he can basically hit on anybody, and that's the key with any. I always say this about Kyle Fletcher. I love Kyle Fletcher, love when he does the top rope bang buster, but that's not a move you can hit on everybody. He
Yeah.
almost killed Brody King a couple of weeks ago. I still won't forgive him for that. Only do it on pay-per-views, Kyle. You need to find a finisher you can hit on anybody, but Kevin Knight has already done that. He's found a way, so I like it, and I like the follow-up that we got later with Kevin Knight as well.
Yeah, I will say that Don Callis on commentary made a good point. Whether you hate him or you like him, but he was like, whenever the Don Callis family's out here, you can always expect 4 to 5 star. I think he said 5-star matches. And if Lance Archer wasn't a glorified jobber coming to the stage, Lance Archer jobber to the stars, this would have been a banger. If this happened in New Japan with Lance Archer, this would have been a banger. This was a good match. I like that they're putting so much faith in Kevin Knight, but it's about time Lance Archer wins something, and not against Johnny Two Toes and Sharp Eye Finger Joey. You know what I mean?
I think the issue with Lance is that they were gonna do something with him with the Murder Machines, with him and Brian Cage. I think a tag team is where you can really kind of do something with him a little bit more. And I think that him and Brian Cage could be a good tag team together. But Brian Cage got injured. Hope that he has a speedy recovery. But we're gonna need them to pair back up for Lance Archer to do something besides being jobber to the stars in the singles division.
I mean, honestly, truly. But you know who's not jobber to the stars? Matthew Hooks with a super chat saying AEW totally stole Mania Week from WWE. Holy crap. I mean, we talked about this earlier on SP3's podcast, True Hill Heat, shameless self-promotion. Go ahead and check it out. I don't think that they necessarily stole Mania Week. However, a lot of Mania matches doesn't have good builds. So all it can take is for Tony Khan to let people go out there and do the Harlem Globetrotter hooping with the whistle and everything. And people are like, hey, AEW's hooping. No storyline. Like some of these things, if we really think about it, Kevin Knight versus Lance Archer, what was the storyline there? Wrestling.
Nothing. Yeah, wrestling. That's what they make their money on. They're where the best wrestle. And I will say it right here, right now. I don't know if WrestleMania night 1 or night 2 is going to have any matches on the level of Mercedes Moné and Athena, or definitely I don't think they're going to have anything on the level of Will Ospreay and Konosuke Takeshita. That's one of the best matches of the year so far. Mercedes and Athena was one of the best women's matches. I think the 3-way between Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair might be one of the best women's matches of the year, but that build was kind of shaky. So yeah, it's kind of like if both companies are not doing the best at storytelling, they're not doing the best at build, then it's going to come down to the wrestlers. AEW might have the edge sometimes, so I can understand if someone thinks that AEW stole. Not that guy. He's hurt right now. He's hurt right now by the very humble FTR who sent apology on today's show. We'll get into that.
You know what? Since you brought it up.
Oh my God! This was one of the best petty letters I think I've heard on wrestling television in quite some time.
Do you guys remember? Let's take a little trip down memory lane. Do you guys remember when you were a kid and you did something to somebody and your mom made you write an apology to them? And when you read the apology out loud, it was like, I'm sorry you think that I like you and you stink. I'm sorry you don't stink. You just smell not to my liking.
No, you know what this is? This is fucking excuse me. Oh yeah, we're past that limit. This is Raleigh Freeman writing a letter to Santa Claus. If y'all watch Boondocks, y'all will get the reference. It's Raleigh Freeman saying, Santa, you a bitch nigga. No. Santa, you a bitch ass.
He said, Tony, I know you ain't mean to do that, but you mad fat and you stink. Like they was spitting. My favorite line includes, and then Tony read it, Nigel, I forgive you because there was no way you could have beat us up, LOL. And Tony read LOL on
fragile mind.
I will cap the FTR because this is up there with putting your finger in your nose and then putting it in someone else's mouth and calling it like the swirly durly, giving them the old flush. This is bully tactics. I was sports entertained. And it was the way that Nigel was like, sure, I accept it. I'm like, yo, Nigel, lace up these boots. Don't let that bald man talk to you this way. Who wrote that? FTR bald or FTR hair? Which one of you?
Oh, this is so great. This is great. That was I was like upset yesterday when they announced that they're suspended for the week because they were the MVPs of last week's Collision. Last week's Collision was the best episode of Collision so far, and it was really down to FTR with that promo, the murdering Daddy Magic, the way they attacked Daniel Garcia. They were like, no, we're sorry, and then came out, boom, boom, boom. Beat his ass as well.
It's the worst because, like, I live for FTR, but I know people dislike FTR, and it's not even that they dislike Dax.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, Dax, this is Birdman levels of, I'm about to cause some problems, bro. Yes, keep being a dastardly asshole. Yes.
I've loved every minute of this heel turn. This is the real FTR, the real Slim Shady. This is the real FTR finally standing up. None of this, oh, we like their music. Oh, they're a great tag team. All that nonsense. That went on way too long. We needed real FTR, petty FTR. This is the best FTR.
He should grow his hair out to be extra petty.
Now what y'all gotta say? Now being bald is Ricochet's gimmick.
Yo, we skipping ahead. Let's talk about that backstage segment where Ricochet got cooked. Ricochet got cooked, bro. So, oh man, Renee is interviewing Kevin Knight and Speedball, saying like, yo, how do you guys like being here? Before they could even say 2 words. Let me make sure I got 2 words. Here come Ricochet talk about, y'all don't know how it works here. Y'all got to get in line. Y'all got to do what I say. Being super light skins. I'm like, all right, where is this going? What are you doing here? Kevin Knight was like, you got it twisted. We respect you. You're a high flyer. You got a hot wife. You got it all. But anything you could do, I could do better. Matter of fact, there's one thing you can't do. And Ricochet's like, what can I do? Why Kevin Knight took his hair out the ponytail and was like, Ricochet was hot. You could see him from space nuclear hot. Before he could say anything, Speedball was like, nah, we gonna go too. And Speedball with his mullet was like, Renee looks at Ricochet, who's now gobsmacked, like, y'all not gonna flick your hair at me. And Renee says, there are 50 bald people in AEW, but you're the only one getting cooked for being bald.
This man is doing. I will not take this disrespect of Ricochet. Ricochet is a godsend. He's a national treasure, and I don't like the fact that this is bald discrimination. We need to start a petition for this bald discrimination going on AEW television. They've made him into a meme where he just gets slapped in the head. Now we're doing jokes with everybody flipping their hair. See, I can't flip my hair. My hair's short. See, I still have hair, but
stop. If we get an angry letter to Fightful from Ricochet, it's your fault.
My bad. I'm starting the petition. No, it's not gonna be because of me. I'm starting the petition for the bald discrimination that Ricochet is going through. I will not stand for it.
I'm sorry, this comment took me. He's acting very baldy lately. Is insane. If anything, FTR bald is acting more baldy than Ricochet. This is top tier work. Him and Stokely Hathaway need to start a support group.
You guys are wrong for this. This is not right what we're doing to Ricochet. Ricochet doesn't deserve this. He needs to just be happy. He should be at Wale Mania right now with his hot wife, but he's being discriminated against for his baldness at work.
You should take Smart Mark Sterling's job. You should be the wrestling advocate lawyer over here.
Captain Saberball. That is very good. That is very nice.
Captain Saberball is insane. almost as the super chat from Villaba. I hope I said your name right. I'll say it again. Ricochet isn't bald. He's taller than his hair. I've seen pictures of him with his hair. I don't think we want to see that though. He said he don't want to see that though. And since we're here with Villaba, we got one more super chat from the young gentleman. Valub. Thank you. I watch too much TNA.
I say his name wrong all the time on True Hill Heat, but I won't let anybody else say it wrong. See, I got you.
Valub. Thank you for not letting me look stupid, SP3. We also have another super chat saying Death Riders should have always been channeling their inner Suzuki gun. Since we're jumping around, let's jump to where the Death Riders really decided to turn up, okay? Besides the fact that they started off the show HOT, they answer, let me not say they, Claudio Castagnoli answers Adam Cole's open challenge for the TNT match. My first note, and I want y'all to see this, literally says LOL. Because why is Claudio Castagnoli coming out here? And I'm thinking, damn, Adam Cole, you just got the belt. Grand opening, grand closing. When Claudio threw the chair, I was like, yo, I see why they took it off of Daniel Garcia. I don't want that ass whooping either. I do not. I was like, damn, you really about to be a 30-second champion. No disrespect. This match didn't help either. This entire match, Claudio was beating the brakes off of Adam Cole, threw him into the chair, threw him in, put his spine on the LED barricade. He yeeted this man into the crowd.
Where he falls back, and it looked like the back of his head hit that marble floor, like a marble brown floor. I was worried about Adam Cole, and he landed right on his feet, which I was very worried about that because we know Adam Cole has someone else's ankle in his ankle. Like he said that in an interview, so that could have went terribly wrong. That could have went terribly wrong.
Not the back end, the ankleotomy.
He had an ankleotomy. He got an ankle. He got a dead guy's ankle in his ankle.
That's not funny, please. This is a professional podcast, okay? Ooh, not the bionic ankle. This match was really good, but you know what happens? Adam Cole gets the win with the most devastating move in all of professional wrestling, the surprise roll-up.
Roll-up.
Afterwards, the Paragon come down and extract Adam Cole. And they did. That was a smart thing to do. That was a smart thing to do because I'm going to let me go ahead and mark this one up too. Where's this super chat from the beautiful Rafael Garcia? Said, to be fair, you don't call Super Swiss bald? Absolutely not. The way that man was just rolling the announce table because he was mad. Yikes. Nah, dogs. I see a lot of hair on Claudio's head. I'm not going to be like Nigel and call him Baldio. No way. Not me. Not so. No, sir. No, sir. What did you think of this match? What did you think of the post-match when he's walking through the crowd and they're chanting at Claudio? Claudio is walking through the crowd like he's with his ears on his head. That was honestly, you horsing around, but I live.
Oh man, this was a good choice. I didn't expect it. I thought that with the opening segment was the only time we were going to see the Death Riders. So as soon as the music hit and I saw that it was Claudio, I loved the little shot of Claudio walking from the backstage area or the corridor, and he sees the screen with Adam Cole staring back at him, and he just smiles. That was a nice little touch. Him throwing the chair at Nigel. I was worried about my boy Nigel. Nigel is a national treasure. We need Nigel on Dynamite because he can help the commentary team over there, because the commentary team on Collision is much better simply because Nigel McGuinness is here. So I was very worried about him at first. The matchup, I thought it was good. It was good stuff. It's surprising that these guys have been friends for so long, but I don't remember them really having like a noteworthy matchup during their time together in Ring of Honor, and then throughout their whole time in WWE. I don't remember them having any matches together, but they've been a part of the crew with Tyler Breeze and Xavier Woods playing video games on Twitch for years. So this was like the first time that I can remember them having a significant matchup for a championship, and it was on television. So I was happy to be watching it and see them go at it. I thought this was much better than what I think it was even better than the Daniel Garcia matchup from Dynasty. I thought that these two guys worked really well together. This was more of the good Claudio here. Claudio has kind of been off and on since this whole Death Riders stuff started, but I thought this match was very well. He came off like a powerhouse, came off destructive, the gorilla press slam into the crowd. I was very worried about Adam Cole, the backdrop suplex onto the barricade. He was beating the crap out of this man for a little bit there, but Adam Cole was resourceful enough, pulls out the crucifix pin to pick up the victory here and retain the championship. Thank you, Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly, because y'all are smart. Y'all are smart baby faces. We don't have a lot of that. A lot of baby face suffer from dumb baby face syndrome. I call it DBS. It's a strong case of DBS, dumb baby face syndrome. So that these are smart baby faces. Got their man the hell up out of there. And poor Tony Schiavone and Nigel McGuinness again. He destroys their desk. They don't have a desk for the rest of the night because we don't have any spare desks around here for the commentary team, apparently. So Nigel
Small indie
destroys
company,
that.
t-shirt company. They don't got a budget. They don't got a budget.
It's a t-shirt company, and they ain't selling a lot of t-shirts this month. Yeah, it's a hard month out here.
It's a hard month out here.
You know, they up on the corner trying to sell these t-shirts, but nobody buying them. But they had to put their monitors on the floor. You had Tony Schiavone looking like this, looking like me when I didn't have furniture in my house, and I'm looking at like a laptop while I'm playing I felt bad for these guys out here. And it's a very rare case of like John Moxley having to calm someone else down. Usually we're used to Moxley being the angry one and everybody having to kind of calm him down or go with the flow. If he's angry, the rest of the Death Riders are angry. But this was the first time that someone else in the Death Riders was angry, and Moxley had to calm him down. And then Moxley also had to tell the little brother, like, get your ass out of here. He's telling Willie Yuta trying to calm him down, doing what Moxley just wound up doing himself. And he's like, shut up. Why are you always in his face? Why are you always in his face?
Poor Willie Yuta. I don't know what they got on you, baby. You got to run away. you need to run away.
The fans were awesome calling Claudio a loser. And Claudio sold it so well.
Yo, for Claudio to be big baby, it's hilarious. I was watching AEW with a friend of mine, and he was like, yo, what's this man's problem? I said, he's Swiss, and Swiss people never get mad. They even stayed out of World War II, so you got to be horsing around. If a Swiss guy.
He's not saying you could be a part of World War II.
They said, oh, y'all fighting over there? Rico. I don't see nothing. I don't see nothing. That got nothing to do with me. Who that got to do with? Not me. Anyway, y'all trying to go skiing? A child. So anyway.
Y'all want some chocolate?
You want pet a cow?
Oh my god.
Well, Claudio Casanelli don't beat us up. We joking. We just goofing. Let's try to get back on track. Back at the beginning of the show, we did have Renee go backstage to interview Jamie Hayter and Kris Statlander. I do like one thing that Kris Statlander said about this promo was enough about Toni Storm and Mercedes Mone. There are other great women on this roster. And I agree. I think that a lot of the conversation, especially over the past year or so, has been dominated about Mercedes and Toni. Mariah, a byproduct of it. There's rumblings of Athena, but respectfully, Athena don't even go here. So, I mean, realistically, I want Athena to be champion in a place that she don't go to.
I mean, You do make a good point. Athena needs to go here, but she hasn't been going here. So I understand where you're coming from. But yeah, I like this promo a lot. I like them both saying, they work hard, but we work hard as well. So
Mhm.
let's make a they basically made a mutual agreement that whoever wins that matchup, they want the other person to go all the way and win the tournament. And I like that Jamie Hayter is showing a lot of heel tendencies between the matchup last week with Billy Starks, where she was very heelish. She was more of the heel in that matchup against Billy.
Mm.
And then this week with her being like, yeah, whatever. Let's get to this fight. We need to fight. And then even later in the show, during the main event, she's backstage sarcastically clapping for Kris Statlander. Like,
I don't even see it as her turning heel. Always saw Jamie Hayter kind of like Finn Balor, any means necessary. That's great that we're friends. I live for that. However, ever, I'm trying to win something. So that's cool. We're cool for now. Don't make me punch you in your face. Yeah, don't make me
I
punch you in
respect
your
it.
face.
I respect it. I respect it. And yeah, we would see her later in the night, and we would see one of her moves later on in the night. So we'll get to that.
I'm going to knock out some of these super chats. There's a lot of them, and I've been a buster. My apologies. We're going to start from the
Thank you.
bottom. We got one from CD Elgato. I hope I said your name right. D is for Lisdexia, and that's what I have. Here's a couple of shillings for being hilarious. Well, thank you. We
Oh,
keep the shillings. Oh,
thank
yeah.
you. Thank you.
We got another one from Tom LaValle saying Claudio countered a Panama Sunrise into a giant swing. That is also something that happened. I would say watch this match. Go ahead and watch the Lance Archer Kevin Knight match too, because there was a lot that happened. Even though you know the ending, the guys who lost in both of those matches beat the crap out of the guys who won in both those matches.
Pretty much. You saw the powering. Yeah, that was a good reversal of the Panama Sunrise right into the Giants' wing. Claudio was on his game. Like I said, I thought this was a good matchup. And you're talking about the Lance Archer and Kevin Knight. That was good. This match was good. And I don't even think we've talked about the best match of the night yet. So we're gonna get to that, which I
That's
thought
a
was
fact.
the ROH TV title match. But yeah, there was a lot of good wrestling on this show. So yeah, Claudio was on his game. I appreciate Claudio coming back because that Cope match had me worried. I thought that Claudio had lost a bit in the tank from this Death Rider story.
We have another super chat from James Zimmerman said, good stuff. Enough said. We have another super chat from Genesis that says, SP3 may be my nemesis, but I can't deny he don't ever run from the grind. That's true. I've seen
Appreciate
SP3.
you.
He'll be here, there, tomorrow. Hardest working man in the industry, still broke. This is ridiculous.
I got 2 5-year-olds, and one of them tells me to shut up, dad. That's on live YouTube. So this is the life I'm living. I appreciate you, Genesis J. Genesis J, one of the big supporters from True Hill. He watches some New Japan, so he's about that life as well, and I appreciate those words.
We also have another super chat from Kyle, the gamer princess says, Kylie, I'm dyslexic. Sorry. That show was funny. I hope you are both well. That show was indeed funny. I'm not well. I've been having a sore throat. Almost got 2 more left. 2 more left. Orion Ben says, Cresta, SP3. Oh, damn. Dyslexic kicking my ass. This was how you show the world up. How you show up the worldwide leader. Great in rings, plots furthered across the board, and Collider's going crazy. Listen, I wouldn't say plots furthered across the board, but the wrestling definitely was going crazy. Go ahead.
I mean, I think he made a mistake. He's calling them the worldwide leader. Guys, I don't know if y'all heard Nick Khan. They're the underdog. They're the underdog. The number 1 promotion in wrestling. They're the underdog, guys. So we need to stop calling them the worldwide leader. We got to say, when we refer to WWE, we have to refer to them as the underdog.
Why, when you said that, all I can hear is Nick Khan sitting down with Chris Van Vliet, looking him dead in the face and say, all my life I've had to fight. Do you know how hard we've had it here in the Worldwide Federation? People boo us sometimes.
we have all these credits. He sounded exactly like, go back and listen to Vince McMahon interviews in 1993 and 1994
Right after they had to change their name.
during the steroid trial, like, we're the underdog, guys. The federal government is trying to stop us. That's what Vince was on, and I think that Vince has totally warped the mind of Nick Khan. This man said the worldwide leader is the underdog. We are the underdog. We're always against the odds.
People don't agree with everything we make. In fact, they're booing Hulk and Hogan. Hulk Hogan. They don't respect us. You know what? People talk about me being a con man. We gotta talk about the other con man, the man who's really ruining wrestling. All my life, the World Wrestling Federation has had to fight.
This man said we always go to different places, and we try to put our stars out there that are from these places. We were in Glasgow, Scotland, and we had Joe Hendry on Raw. Sorry, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. What are you talking about? Are we watching the same thing? I mean, obviously you're not watching the product because you say we don't sign people and bench them. Hey, Andrade.
Bro, Andrade picked up his phone. Was like, you what? Motor City Machine Guns is trying to with the call waiting. Yo, answer, Mr. Answer.
Omos was like, I had a title in Japan and y'all just put me on the bench. What are y'all doing?
Alexa been sitting with her doll, like, so we lying?
Joe Gacy, Dexter Lumis, Nikki Cross. They're all like, Apollo Crews, like, oh, so F me though. F me.
Well, I thought Apollo Crews got released with Cedric Alexander. I forgot he worked there.
What you saying F me for? Street Profits literally did a interview with the homies, my Harlem homies, Cameron and Mace, where they said sometimes you have to ride the pine, sometimes you have to ride the bench. No. I know Triple H called them up, being like, guys. Nick Khan just said we don't put people on the bench. Y'all can't be telling Cameron and Mace y'all on the bench. Come on.
This is the same Triple H that told Will Ospreay, you didn't sign here because you're afraid of the grind, pal. The grind. Honestly, y'all should stop doing wrestling. Y'all should start doing a comedy tour because you guys are funny.
Yo. I've literally broke some of my friends this week when I said, yo, they haven't been watching in years. And I'm like, guys, WWE's the underdog. And it literally broke some of them. I was like, what? They were like,
even if you say that Mimi, people are still like. Anyway, this is the AEW review show. We already spoke about the letter with FTR. We now have a very fun match, and I'm a Josh Alexander stan, so there will be no Josh Alexander slander here. Okay, Josh Alexander slander. No, ma'am, not here. We had Josh Alexander and Konosuke Takeshita versus Tomohiro Ishii and Rocky Romero. The match itself was fine. The main talking point is that Ishii goes for a tag. Romero says, I'm not touching you. Dirty, disgusting. I was sports confused. Afterwards, Romero turns on Ishii. Trent Beretta comes out like Tony Khan said, I don't care, WrestleMania's this weekend. We shaking out all the good stuff. Wake up, Trent. Get out of here. So Trent wakes up. Trent is back. It looks like Rocky and Trent are now a part of the Don Callis family, along with Josh Alexander, who I'm like, I feel like, didn't you hate Don Callis before he left TNA, Josh? But get it where you fit in. I respect it. So while I am happy that Trent is back, and there's at least a direction for Rocky Romero to go, what are we doing with the conglomeration? That's another faction that needed to break up because they weren't doing anything. But what are we doing here? Why Ishii gotta die? I love Ishii. Why Ishii gotta die?
Well, you see, I think it was Iridian I was on here with, and I joined the Don Callis family. I've been a part of the family for a few months. I get the checks in the mail, and I've been pushing the agenda since 2025. The best faction in AEW right now is the Don Callis family.
Agreed. They put on good matches. Agreed.
the best non-wrestler in AEW right now is Don Callis. Arguably the best commentator in AEW right now is Don Callis.
Don't lie.
And
All right.
Don
Nigel
Callis,
McGuinness and Taz still work there. Don't do that.
I love Nigel McGuinness, but my man Don Callis is on Dynamite more than him. So he's the
Nigel
best
works
commentator.
Saturdays. What do you mean Nigel works Saturdays?
He need to show up on Wednesdays because that commentary team needs him, and they need Don Callis most weeks. I am with Don Callis. I will expect my check in the mail after this episode of the Collision post show because I am pushing the Don Callis agenda. But this was a lot of fun. This matchup probably was like my second favorite matchup on the show because it started off with Ishii and Konosuke Takeshita basically continuing their matchup from the Tokyo Dome in January, which was one of my favorite matches of the year so far, where they just started beating the crap out of each other and just going full-on banger right from the start. Then you had Rocky working well with Josh Alexander. Love Josh. I've always loved Josh Alexander's running crossbody to the guy sitting on the apron, and the fact that it was Takeshita that set it up with like the drive-by drop kick before he did it, and then you had Josh feeling himself because he just signed that new contract. He got that AEW money. He's like, "What's up? What's up?" He said it with his chest. He's like, "What's up? What's up?" And you had Don Callis talking all the crap in the world. Like, I got the best wrestlers here. I got some of the best. And I'm like, yo, he legit has 3 of the best male wrestlers in the whole entire company under his charge. Because Kyle Fletcher's been balling ever since he became Randy Orton from 2010.
Yo, I'm glad you said that because I thought the same thing, bro. He is literally 09, 2010 Randy. All he needs to do is turn on Don Callis and lay him in a bloody pile, and you'll literally be Randall Keith.
We literally I don't know if you went to, I know I saw you at the Hammerstein Ballroom for ROH, but I don't know if you went to that Dynamite at the Hammerstein Ballroom that Sunday. But we literally, when he faced Daniel Garcia in the C2, we started a chant of Aussie Orton, and he did the Hangman's DDT. He played into it and everything. So yeah, he is Randy Orton from 2010. He's had the transformation of all transformations from the body, from the whole look, and he's really switched it up. And he is so great in the ring. He's gotten even better. His speed in the ring, his pacing of his matches, it's always hard hitting. Konosuke Takeshita though. This dude, it might be the best wrestler in the world right now. You could probably name like 1 or 2 guys, and it's probably Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay that is on the level of Konosuke Takeshita right now. He is balling right now. He just had one of the best matches of the year last night, and then this match was so good, and him and Josh Alexander worked well together. I like the little finish with them hitting the double forearms. I like the fact that Josh has switched it up. He's not doing the C4 spike because you got Mark Briscoe here doing the J Driller. You got Kenny Omega who sometimes busts out a J Driller, so he's switching it up, doing the power bomb for the victory here. But like you said, the real story here was how they subtly kind of sprinkled it in throughout the matchup. Rocky Romero and Tomohiro Ishii having issues. It was first Takeshita pushing Rocky into Ishii for the cover, and Ishii got upset about that. Then it was Rocky moving out the way and Ishii getting blasted. And then finally it was Ishii going for the tag and Rocky dropping off the apron. And Rocky played it off so well in the post-match where he's like, "Oh man, I messed up.
I can't believe I did that. Oh no.
Man, let me help you. Let me help you up, Ishii. Let me help you up." And then he turns around, he sees Trent. I'm mad at Tony Schiavone being so confused on who that was, and I'm just like, it's obviously Trent.
The cameraman did nobody no favors. I saw his face. Like
I've seen his face. That's definitely Trent Beretta. So Trent coming back and him basically being the catalyst for Rocky turning heel. Rocky Romero is such a better heel than he is a babyface. He just is. He's the king of sneaky style. He's so devious. He's working for all these different companies, getting all these different checks. How can you cheer for this guy? You can't cheer for this guy. He needs to be a part.
Jeff Jarrett of our generation.
He might be on to something. He getting a lot of checks. He's like Rick Rude. He's working with all the promotion.
Say what y'all want about Jeff Jarrett. but Jeff Jarrett hasn't missed a direct deposit since 1987 into his bank account. Okay,
You
so
heard
get
her.
into
You
that.
heard.
Get into
You
that.
heard.
Say what you want.
So, and I liked him getting the wrench because the wrench was how he got written off from Orange Cassidy. So him getting the wrench and blasting Ishii, and kind of it's like Ishii's taking the licks for Orange Cassidy, who's injured right now because they're both a part of the conglomeration. So they take him out, and then that creates a whole story for Mark Briscoe. When Mark Briscoe is back, now he's the only member of the conglomeration left because now Ishii's going to be basically written off, probably heading back to Japan. You got Rocky, who turned on the group. Orange Cassidy is hurt. Kyle O'Reilly went to the Paragon. He's left on his own. Now we got Mark Briscoe on his own, has to fight against the Don Callis family. Give me some Mark Briscoe versus Josh Alexander. Give me Mark Briscoe versus Konosuke Takeshita again, because they tore it up on Dynamite a few weeks ago. We already saw how Mark Briscoe and Kyle Fletcher always delivers in the ring together like they did at Dynasty. So I'm for that. I like the story that they build here, and I like that the Don Callis family now has a proper tag team to go with three of the best wrestlers in the world, with Roppongi Vice reuniting under the Don Callis family. Thank you, Don. We appreciate you.
I'm not mad at it. I like Don Callis. So like if Don Callis do something messed up, it's kind of me. Did you see Don do that? See him do what? Girl.
My monitor was out. What happened?
What happened?
I want to say I love Don always hitting somebody and then ow.
Like
he hurts his hand.
Your face is so hard. Oh my God. I want to say a shout outs, rest in peace, Jay Briscoe, because Jay Briscoe right about now, y'all not gonna beat up my brother like that. You're not gonna beat up my friends like that. A Briscoe Bros versus Roppongi Vice.
I would have loved that. I would have loved that. That would have been fantastic.
Bruh,
now we're gonna need Mark to find some friends. Maybe he hooks up with his $400,000 friends of Will Ospreay, Speedball, and Kevin Knight to fight with the family. Maybe we could get something like that going. But yeah, he's left on his own without the conglomeration.
I want to say this too. The Briscoes would have kept FTR in check. This would have never happened. The Death Riders would have never happened if Eddie Kingston was here, because Eddie Kingston would have got them all the way together. There are just some people in wrestling when they're not there. And when Kevin Owens isn't here, y'all start talking nonsense. Every time Eddie Kingston is gone, Claudio, Castagnoli, and Moxley start talking nonsense. You got to have checks and balances. Some people keep people in check.
Yeah. That's what Ricochet was talking about. He's like, checks and balances. You're not going through the hierarchy here. You know, he's a top guy. I love Ricochet talking like that. Like he's been here for a while. Dude, you haven't even been here a year. Like, what are you talking about?
You've been here for a cup of tea. What are you doing?
This was a funny episode. It was a funny episode. So many funny moments.
Guys, we're going to take a quick break. Our sponsor today is Bet Online. Bet responsibly. We'll see you back.
Hey guys, I'm here to tell you about betonline.ag, the official betting partner of Fightful. It's not just an online platform. They've been trusted for over 25 years. They boast a focus on the player approach and have built their reputation on offering their clients nothing but the best. From cutting-edge technology to enticing promotions and the latest sports betting odds. Whether it be wrestling, MMA, boxing, or football, baseball, basketball, or racing, anything you can think of. All major sporting events are covered by betonline.ag. Fast payouts, highest credit card acceptance industry-wide, safe and secure online environments, and their live betting feature allows you to bet on your favorites weekly and easily and in real time. betonline.ag. That's where we're going at Fightful. That's where we suggest you go as well. That's where we get all of our odds at. betonline.ag. Only bet what you can, and please bet responsibly.
It is important to note that we want you to bet responsibly. WrestleMania is coming up this weekend. Bet Online is going to have all your betting odds and all that fun stuff. But bet what you can. Bet responsibly. And if you're not sure if it's going to win, the surest bet, Fightful Select. All right, guys, we are coming down the home stretch. We do have a few squashes, so they're going to be in rapid succession. Let me just make sure I don't have any more. You know what? We're going to start off with this super chat. We have the super chat from Darren Walker saying Megan Bayne handicap matches, my new highlight in AEW. And I got a picture with her in London in January. Such a nice person, too. Imagine being 9'9", Megan Bayne, and being nice. But let's tell you what wasn't nice about Megan Bayne. This 2-on-1 match where she was facing Rebecca Scott and Ashley Vox. I had to write that name down with the quickness.
Yes.
Because the girls got one move on her, and they tag teamed her in the beginning. They gave her a double shot kick, and she was like, oh, no. Then after that came a double suplex.
She did a double German suplex. That just was like, I was like, oh, my God. This woman is a beast.
For no reason. We get 3 power bombs on one of the young ladies, a decapitator on the other one, and then back to the one who took the 3 power bombs gets a Fate's Descent on the other woman who just got decapitated. Honestly, this should have been Camille Brick. Not mad at it, but I need these 2 women to fight. Because if I'm going to support meat matches, I'm going to support skirt steak matches. And y'all need to have these 2 women fight. Don't piss me off, okay? Kris Statlander should be here too. Skirt steak. If the men is meat and they're Angus, the women's the skirt steak. Unless you got something better. Unless you got something
a filet mignon fight.
I don't want that. I want to see meat slapping meat. And filet mignon is tender. I don't want no tender steak. I don't want a $2 steak, crucially. Unless that $2 steak is Jazz, because Jazz was tougher than a $2 steak. I love her. I love her. You know what I mean? I want to see women's wrongs, and that's a women's wrongs match. Naomi, Jade, women's wrongs. I love those matches. Do you have anything about this women's wrongs match?
Megan Bayne squashing people is so much fun. To continue to do this for a while, let's build her back up into the beast that she should have been. It probably was too early to do the Timeless Toni Storm matchup. That probably would have been better suited after All In, where she could have won the AEW Women's World Championship. But as long as they built her back up in the right way, and I think that these squashes is doing a good job of building back her aura as the unbeatable kind of giant of the women's division. And I didn't think she lost anything by losing to the big package, not the small package, the big package. Is what Toni Storm calls her small package. So yeah, I think I like Camille, but I don't think Camille can be doing this. I've never seen Camille do a double German suplex to 2 people at once. I'm sorry. Megan Bayne is different. It's
possible. I didn't see NWA when Camille was there. All I saw was pictures of her, and I was like, choke me. I mean, yes, I would like to see you wrestle. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And when she was here, Camille was here for a cup of tea, got sunned by Mercedes, and then was injured, and we never saw her again. So in my mind, that's Big Mama Punk too. So, again, Statlander, Camille, and Megan Bayne, that's a meaty match. And Athena somehow fits in there. I don't know how, but she somehow fits in that meaty match too. I don't know how.
Even though she's like a foot shorter than everybody, she's still a powerhouse like those girls.
She's probably the strongest girl out of all of them.
Throw in Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter can have that hard-hitting matchup with those girls as well. So.
Not all right, bro. We passed 11 p.m. at NYC Golf Cresta. Listen.
Go off.
I support women's wrestling, okay? And sometimes Toni Storm made 726 or 276 vagina jokes.
270. Yes, 200. I wrote some of these quotes down. Oh my God. That's my favorite thing about Toni Storm on commentary. I just write her quotes I just message my friends. This is what Toni Storm said today. She says that she reached a new milestone. She's made 276 vagina jokes.
Honestly, I aspire. We talk about the unk off a lot here in AEW, where all the uncles of AEW get into an unk off. Not uncles. Let me be clear. Because Eddie Kingston is an unk, not an uncle. Okay? Yeah. Adam Copeland is an uncle, not an unk.
Yes.
You saying? Yeah.
Sure. This is true.
Dax and Cash are both unks. Especially after the letter tonight. That's some unk shit.
That is some unk shit. Christian Cage, that's the unk that nobody talks to.
That's a creepy unk. Don't bring your mom around this unk, bro. Because
he insulted me. He tell you all the bad stories about your dad that just passed away. Like that's
You know, me and your dad used to go around, and your dad used to like try to sniff people. Like, yo, bro, why you telling me about my dad? He just died.
He's saying it at the funeral. You crying at the funeral, and he's telling you, yeah, let me tell you this story. This creepy dude. You know, he never bagged anybody in his life. I had to get him all the girls.
I put him on to your mom. Your mom wanted me. No, we don't need an aunties, but I'm saying if you had to do like, I need something for the Powerpuff Ladies match. You know, who would it be? Who are the? Because there's a lot of girls in there. Because I don't know how to say it either. But Julia Hart somehow fits in there. I don't know how, but she somehow fits in there. She got that spooky power, like Malachi somehow fits in the meat division. I wasn't gonna question it. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
We're gonna talk about the who's gonna be in the auntie meet off. That sounds awful too. Never mind. We're gonna keep a skirt steak until we can come up better because the uncough already sounds crazy. Okay.
Jesus, what are we talking? I don't even know.
You know who don't know what they talk about? Big Bill and Brian Keith. Okay.
These are two guys not on the same page.
Big Bill is like, I'm angry. And Brian Keith is like, no, for the family in private, which I get. But Chris Jericho's literally sunning y'all. And Big Bill can see that. And Brian Keith, I get it. Maybe you felt like, well, if it wasn't for Chris Jericho, I wouldn't have had TV time. But after this man did all of that, I agree with Big Bill. Maybe y'all get some runs in, but that's not going to help in the tag team division because Hurt Syndicate got the tag titles. So maybe y'all could beat up the Outrunners if y'all find them in the 80s. But I don't know what to tell you. What do you think about this? Promo?
They need to find a third and go after the trios titles because they ain't messing with no Hurt Syndicate.
They mess with the Ops. Come on.
I mean, no, but Big Bill does have experience against Powerhouse Hobbs. He does know Powerhouse Hobbs pretty well. So I think that they can deal with them a lot better than they could deal with the Hurt Syndicate. They ain't messing with no Hurt Syndicate right now. Or they need to go on their separate ways and go into the singles division. Brian Keith, he's good on his own. Big Bill, he could be dominant on his own. They need to figure something out because them trying to rack up wins, I don't see how this is going to go well for them. But I like this segment. It was a nice little follow-up to Jericho being gone. Let's continue the Jericho being gone story. I'm all for it.
Bro, when you said them versus the Ops, all I could think of in my mind is Big Bill getting muscle busted. And honestly, yes. I like when stuff doesn't make sense. And that don't make sense.
No. But yeah, I gotta support my man Big Bill. Big Bill, New York's own Big Bill. I gotta support.
Listen, New York's own, I get it. I support him too. But you're 7 feet tall. You can't teach that. And you and a muscle buster would make me. I would pop. So, cause why? It's like when Kurt Angle would try to angle slam the Big Show and actually get all his leggies in the air. It's like, why?
Yeah. Hey, I'm here for it. And yeah, we should mention the Ops have officially christened Powerhouse Hobbs as a member of the Ops. Joe did the promo following their win on Dynamite on this show where he said that Hobbs is now a member of the Ops.
He should have been a member of the Ops. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
he was literally wrestling in overalls and Timbs at one point. I don't know why he wasn't the first one on your list. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we are entering. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
You make good points. We
are entering the home stretch because there was an LFI match. They beat these guys. I wrote nothing. I just wrote LFI wins. I did.
Yeah. KM was there. Roosh is back, and he kicked the crap out of KM and got the victory for his team. At this point, I'm just hoping that Roosh is back for at least a while before he gets suspended again, because he seems to always get suspended, and then he's gone for weeks. And then Beast Mortos is the only one wrestling.
You know what's crazy is that when Roosh was on TNA for a hot minute, Joel and I used to joke that Roosh don't lose. That's not what Roosh does. Roosh don't lose. So you better get somebody else to do it. Why is Roosh suspended? Because y'all told him he was going to lose something.
He's like, I'm
And
over
he
this.
said,
I'm
no,
over
man.
this losing. I'm just gonna take some time off, spend it with my
Very
family.
that, bro. Like, honestly, if the ops didn't take it off of the Death Riders, LFI should have took the trios title off the Death Riders, and that would make sense. No one would bat an eye. Even if the Hurt Syndicate versus LFI, I support men's wrongs. And that's men's wrongs right there. Okay. I don't support all men's wrongs. That man wrong.
That's a good shout, though. LFI could be a next challenger for the Ops down the line for the Trios Championships. They just gotta actually beat a real trio, not some, squashes all the time. So yeah, this was fine, but nothing to write home about. I'm just hoping Roosh is back for a little while, please.
Yeah. We also, for our second to last match, we do get the Ring of Honor television title, Nick Wayne versus Komander with Alex Abrahantes. I like this match, but it pissed me off. Poor Komander. Every time you come into AEW, they got you doing some shenanigans. Okay? And what happened tonight? Shenanigans. Nothing against Nick Wayne. But Nick Wayne don't even go to Ring of Honor, bro. Like, what are we doing?
I mean, he's been on Ring of Honor. He was actually getting his only reps in AEW over on Ring of Honor for a while. So I like the story, how they set it up on Dynamite with Christian coming back, saying that he wanted to get Nick Wayne ready for the best of the Super Juniors and had him go in there against one of the best Super Juniors in AEW in Komander. Komander balled the hell out in this matchup. I thought this match was awesome. Honestly, I thought this match was the best match on the show. I thought that Komander, especially when they came back from commercial break and he's flying all over the place, that springboard moonsault when he just held his hands together was beautiful.
Yo, when he does that, it's like, how, Sway?
He's so smooth. He's so good in the ring. And I like it feels like so long ago when he first came into AEW and he just used to spam the rope walk. Now he don't even do a rope walk, only for his finisher. I like the fact that we have seen the improvement from the first match he had with Jay White 2 years ago to where he is now. He's so much better and he's so much comfortable in working these style of matches. And I thought that Nick Wayne, this was one of his better singles matches since signing with AEW. He went out there, he kept looking for his finisher, the Wayne's World. That didn't work out for him, so he switched it up and he pulls out a new finisher, the Prodigy Plex, and gets the victory here. So I like Nick Wayne becoming the Ring of Honor TV champion. He felt like he was at that point that he needed a championship to kind of take that next step. And also I can see him holding that championship heading into the Best of the Super Juniors, because now it makes him look more credible. Now we can see him get a couple of wins where he's not just going to be like a guy that's basically jobbing to everybody else and stat padding the rest of the field in the Best of the Super Juniors. He's going to be a guy that probably gets a big win during that tournament, beats one of the stalwarts of the junior heavyweight division, and might be a guy that they can bring over and challenge for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. So I like Nick Wayne picking up the victory here, and this matchup was just so much fun. This was high flying. You had Nick Wayne. I loved him being prepared for the rope walk, shooting star press where he just drop kicked Toni from his back in the middle of the air. That was great. Loved everything about the last 5 to 6 minutes of this matchup.
Do you think Christian Cage makes it
Christian Cage?
Cage.
That's my way. My Nigel McGuinness. Christian Cage.
Nigel be dragging it, and I live. But do you think that Christian Cage uses this as a way? Well, I got you the title shot. You owe me a title shot, or you're gonna be away at the Super Juniors. Let me represent it for you, and just a way to finagle it. Because even at the end, because Nick Wayne obviously gets the pin here, the way that everyone was excited for him, except Christian Cage, was like, "I thought you were gonna lose. Why you win?" I guess.
Well, to be fair, he was doing the slow clap, and at the same time, Kip Sabian was doing the slow clap. So the only person that was happy for him was Nick's mom. Who? Nick's mom. Who? Nick's mom. Whose mom? Nick's mom. I love that chant. That chant
Whose
was
mom?
Whose mom? Nick's mom. Whose mom? Nick's mom. That was great. That had me cracking up during the
They need to
matchup.
start.
So
They need to start chanting. She heard people. She heard
she
people.
heard people. She
She
heard
heard
people.
people.
Oh man, that's awesome. But yeah, Nick Wade, I don't see Christian like asking for a shot because I think that the Ring of Honor TV title is beneath him. I think the key thing that we heard in that promo last night was that Christian cashed in his contract because he couldn't stand the opportunity or the reality of Cope winning the AEW World Championship before him, because I think sooner rather or later we're gonna need Christian to reunite with Cope because that's the only person Cope can find to have his back against FTR.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think like, damn, but also, no, who else would go against FTR? And I would not trust the Death Riders.
No.
And even if the Bucks could, the Bucks won't because the Bucks have better things to do than that.
They don't want that smoke. The Bucks are going to be having their first match since their return on Dynamite. They're facing Speedball Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight because they need to be taught the chain of command. Our EVPs. Thank you. We don't hate you like John Moxley.
The biggest crime that the EVPs have ever done is wore those deep V ass shirts. That's the only crime in my opinion. Okay, maybe what y'all did to Hangman, but maybe. But let me not be apologizing over here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the main event. This is a women's tag match where we had Toni Storm on commentary where she talked about how she made all those vagina jokes. And honestly, I aspire. I want to get on Fightful and make nothing but vagina and beef jokes, which I do. I don't know if count. Okay.
Well, I have a few notes here. Well, we have to also note when Toni made her entrance, she kissed Nigel on the cheek as Luther carried her around, and then she kissed Tony Schiavone on the lips. Someone called Tony Schiavone's wife. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna snitch. And someone called Juice Robinson at the same time. Toni then got on commentary and she says that it is Easter time, and I see, Mr. Schiavone, you have risen.
I forgot who said it on commentary tonight. They said that somebody could hide their own Easter eggs. And I was like, hey, yo, I think he said that about Ishii. I think Nigel said that about Ishii, that Ishii is a good wrestler, but he could hide his own Easter eggs, if you know what I mean. Bro, commentary was a mess tonight.
She literally made a joke that Tony Schiavone got a boner from kissing her. Then
and
she said,
you couldn't get up, bro.
Then she said, I had one of those Fenway Park hot dogs. And long story short, I blew my skirt up the old-fashioned way.
Bro. See, that says, yo, if I was Mercedes, I wouldn't be going around and telling people that I'm a CEO. I'm like, hey, yo, aren't you from the 20s? And then she was like, you know, I'm a CEO. I'm like, yeah, CEO of what? Copious estrogen owner. To which Nigel then says, yeah, no HRT for you, Tony. Yo, where's my water gun?
They were off the chain. This was great. Toni Storm. I said after Collision, after Dynamite, with the matches they announced, I was like, I said on In the Weeds earlier today, I was like, the real draw of tonight's Collision is Toni Storm on commentary, and she did not disappoint. She did not disappoint at all.
She's distracting in the best, worst way. Because I feel that way about Don Callis. Sometimes like, yo, Don, shut up, bro. I can't pay attention to this match. Please, shut up. Same thing with Tony. It's like, yo, Tony, shut up. I literally can't pay attention to this match. You're the class clown who's literally funny, and I can't work. Please, shut up. I mean, shut up, please. Ask me what happened in that match. I couldn't tell you. I can tell you she made some vagina jokes, though, and she had her decorative feet, and she didn't want to touch the ground. She lost the shoe after she got in the ring.
She's like, oh my God. She even messed up the vagina joke because she was like 700. She's like, oh, what am I talking about?
Yo, I hate to say it, but damn, Toni Storm. Damn, this is At first, I was like, when are we going to stop with the delusion? And now this is me. I'm in the delusion right along with you, bro. I still think that whoever beats her needs to beat her normal. And like, I'm not doing this with you. I'm not doing this with you. I'm going to bloody you. I'm going to beat you normal because I'm not doing this with you. But until that day comes.
No, we needed a women's wrestler on this roster who could either, be a main storyline kind of a vehicle on her own without the championship. So I think when she loses the title, she still needs to be one of the more featured acts, because you can just do stories off of Toni being this delusional 1950s movie star, and she can feud and make anything that she does that we're going to care about, because she's just so great in her role. She's the Stone Cold of the women's division for AEW.
Her and Jamie Hayter, odd couple, two girls from two different decades, the 70s and the 20s. What'll happen now?
like what she said about Jamie last week. She was like, no one's ever made money off of dressing from another generation or another era.
Bro, when she said that, I literally was writing it down, and when she said that, I put my pen down, I looked at the screen like, Antonia Storm. What the
Never changed, Toni.
I need a Toni versus Nyla promo. You want nonsense for 20 minutes. That's what you want. You want nonsense for 20 minutes. And let me just tell you about the end of this match, y'all, because I feel like we talked about Toni Storm and not the match.
We talked about Toni Storm on commentary.
I will say this too. Toni Storm was spitting when she said Harley Cameron is so talented. She could do anything she wants, and she chooses to do this. I'm like, damn. Damn. I mean, she not wrong. The girl can sing, she can act, she can dance, she's a ventriloquist, and you choose to wrestle? Same thing with Queen Aminata. Aren't you a doctor? What are you doing here? Like,
no, the match was good. I thought that, all the interplay between Statlander and Mercedes, I don't know if they're telegraphing that that's our Owen final or not, but it felt like they were kind of telegraphing it, and I don't mind that at all, because Kris Statlander and Mercedes Mone have amazing chemistry together, so I wouldn't mind their third matchup being the Owen final. I like the fact that what we've seen over the last couple of weeks is that Toni has this kind of admiration for Kris Statlander, because she shitted on everybody in the tournament, and then when it went to Kris Statlander last week on Collision, she was like, what a woman.
It's not adoration. That's HLA, baby. I know HLA when I see it, because I too be getting afflicted by it, but that's HLA.
She's getting all hot and bothered. Whenever Kris Statlander is around. So I would not mind if Kris Statlander was the winner of the tournament and we see Toni trying to seduce her. Wouldn't mind that as a storyline. Trying to seduce her. Wouldn't mind that as a story. But yeah, I like the fact that they did the little teases between them. I loved Kris Statlander doing the CEO dance as she stomped down on.
That was pretty good too. She's making fun of the crowd.
I popped at Harley doing the CEO dance when they made their entrance. I was like, Toni, when are you gonna get it through your skull? Between the backstage segment with Minnie Monet, their entrance, them working in this tag team, just make them a pairing. I've been saying it since the feud. Since the feud started, this is like The Rock and Hurricane together. This is anything.
It's a Rock and Sock. This is Rock and Sock to me.
I wouldn't mind that either. But they didn't have like the blood feud that Rock and Sock had. This is more like Rock and Hurricane, where Hurricane was just ridiculously entertaining, but that the guy that he's interacting with is a little bit above him. So that's Mercedes. But make that a pairing, and put that together, because they just work so well together and they have so much chemistry. It just jumps off the screen. They were fun in this matchup. I like Julia Hart playing her role. Thought Kris Statlander was great. I like the her doing the hate breaker into the haterade, sending a message to Jamie Hayter was a nice little touch as well. And I like, once again, Timeless Toni Storm giving a round of applause to a winner from a women's match.
You spitting SP3. That was very eloquent. That was so elegant.
Elegant.
Elegant. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Collision. Let me make sure I've read all of my super chats. Oh, we missed one. Just Ricardo says, Dynamite night 1, night 2 is better, or looking better than Mania night 1, night 2. I don't agree with that. I'll be real with you.
We're gonna see.
If the wrestling is better, the wrestling is going to be better. Absolutely. I think that the wrestling on AEW for the past 2 nights has been superb. That being said, Mania and Royal Rumble bring out the best gear in people, and I can't wait to see how Seth Rollins is dressed tomorrow or Sunday. I cannot wait because I know he's gonna have on an Elton John fit, and I live for them. So in that regard, bro, like when people say they hate the way Seth Rollins dresses, I'm like, it's called fashion. Look it up, okay? And don't get it twisted. Cal Fletcher's right around the corner because I noticed the way Cal Fletcher's been dressing too, like he's stuck in 2002, 2003 with the mini Nokia.
And the crop tops.
The crop tops is very 90s, like early 90s with the gladiators and the inline skating, bro. Like I like WWE and AEW for 2 separate reasons, but I won't sit up here and say that WrestleMania is about to be a wash. Because me personally, I want to see what's about to transpire between Naomi and Jade. I support women's wrongs, and I can't wait.
Best built Mania matchup, Naomi and Jade. Can't wait for that. Can't wait for the gear. Can't wait for Bianca's gear. Can't wait for what Rhea Ripley, Io Sky's gonna wear.
Rikishi, so she can say she did it for Bianca. She needs to come down with Rikishi.
I'm with it. I'm here
Big
for
Jim,
it.
get your dad. Get your dad, Big Jim. Okay.
I'm here for it. I want to see where Paul Heyman, which girl is he going to take to the dance? I want to see all of that. I'm here for it. I want to see John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Yeah.
I said this early on SP3's podcast. If there was ever a match to have Paul on a pole, this is the match. Okay, all the girls are fighting over Paul Heyman, and you've got the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever. Just play the Brock Lesnar music. He don't even got to come out. I just want to see Paul's face though. I just want to see it. You don't even got to come out.
I love it.
Guys, we've been yapping for an hour and a half. Before we get legally kicked off a Fightful, FP3, tell the people what you got going on and where they can find. Yeah.
Like Cresta said, go to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. Earlier today, me, Cresta, and Maggie of Fightful Overbooked, we did our WrestleMania 41 preview, our greatest preview that we've ever had on True Heel Heat. If you'd like to see Cresta ranting, if you like to see Maggie ranting, if you like to see us laugh a whole bunch of times till our face hurts by the end of the podcast, go over and check that out. That's up on the channel right now. I'll be live tomorrow, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time with Jimmy Macaram to review both AEW Dynamite Spring Breakthrough and Collision Spring Breakthrough with the person who is the angriest whenever he has to watch AEW, and especially Collision. And I made him watch Collision tonight, so it's going to be fun where he's going to rant some more. So go over there and check that out. And I'll be live at 10 a.m. Eastern Time over on the Fightful Overbooked YouTube channel with Jeremy Lambert to review, to talk about Collision, to talk about all the different wrestling that is going on. So I hope everyone enjoys the WrestleMania week, and thank you so much to Cresta for having me on the Collision post show. Always have a good time whenever I can do a show with her.
SP3, I have a good time. You just let me yak, honestly. And I love pro wrestling, and you love pro wrestling, so I love you, but not the way your wife loves you, because I can't fight. I don't want it. And I'm not even worried about her. I'm worried about your 5-year-olds. I don't want the smoke. I don't want to get jumped by 2 5-year-olds. I don't want that smoke, okay?
Go check out the latest short on Fightful Overbooked where my daughter tells me to shut up, Dada. So yes.
Going into business for herself. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find me everywhere on social media at Cresta Star, CRESTASTARR. I'm here every Thursday normally with Joel Pearl going over all things TNA, and every Saturday I'm here normally with Iridian and Rick. SP3 is our unofficial cousin. Sometimes Sean Ross Sapp runs in, and we go over all things AEW Collision. I want to also tell you guys, that I think you're fantastic. Your butt looks nice. I hope you find $20 on the floor. And with that $20, you go ahead and subscribe to Fightful Select. The best $6 in the business. We got all your WrestleMania updates, contract updates. Who booked that match? We got that for you. I think that's everything. Follow me on social media. Like I said, Cresta Star everywhere except Facebook and Twitter. Do you have anything else, SP3? I think we're done here.
I think we're done.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between, I love you. You love me. Let's get together and watch wrestling. See you next time. Bye-bye. You like that? You like that? You like that?
That was awesome.